Hello and welcome to Story X Story, the podcast by Mayamada that dives deep into stories across pop culture, plus gives you advice on creating your own. It's episode 219, and I'm your co-host, Nigel.
I am Tazziii, content creator and co-host.
And for our behind the story episodes, we like to talk to creative professionals and practitioners across industries to unpack their journeys. And today we're going to hear the story behind music artist and DJ SARE. SARE, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Been heard a lot of good things from some of our team and checked out some of your work. So nice to meet the person behind it. And looking forward to hearing more. So listeners, you can subscribe to Story X Story wherever you get your podcast from. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, also YouTube as well. We have episodes going up on our YouTube channel. You can send us your feedback and questions as well in a multitude of ways. You can send us a voice message on our Spotify for Podcasters page. You can email us studio77@myamada.com, or you can reach us on social media. We are at Myamada on Twitter, at Myamada TV on Instagram and TikTok, at myamada.com on Blue Sky, or Life of a W Gamer on Instagram and TikTok, and Tazziii on everything else, including tazzy.bsky.social on Blue Sky. You can check out the myamada.com website. We're working on a new one for later in the year, but you can check it out, get our latest comic, see what the brand is all about, in case maybe you've only heard us on the podcast, or maybe you've only checked out our manga, don't know about the games or the cohorts of young people that we work through and come through the brand, myamada.com. You can also join the Studio 77 Discord to be part of the Myamada community and chat with us there as well. So before we learn more about our guest, let's update you with the latest from the Myamada universe. We have a bunch of things going on. We're going into the busy summer period, I guess. I feel like the whole year is busy, to be fair, but just busy for different reasons. So this is the busy event period. So we do have our manga Origins Against All Odds still available. So if you don't know, you might be new. We have a new manga. So we make manga. Our latest one, Origins Against All Odds, is available on our website, and pick up a copy. Check it out. It features Tazzii's character in the Myamada universe for a hope-filled manga about pursuing your creative career goals in the face of resistance and doubters around you. So we did a Kickstarter campaign for it. I've seen some people have got a message from people who shared their package in the post. And thanks for people who supported that, who made that happen. We did a launch event earlier in the year. The video from our roundtable from that event is also available on our YouTube as well. So go check that out. Good conversation about the ups and downs of creative careers. And kind of like what we're going to talk about on this episode, I imagine. So check that out on our YouTube as well. We have more chances to get the comic later in the year, but we'll talk about that as things get confirmed. A few things that are also to be confirmed are part of the Do I Look Like a Gamer video game representation campaign. So we launched this campaign recently this year. So this is our yearly initiative for promoting inclusion and diversity in the video games industry and wider culture. So you can check out the photos of the campaign 40. So that's available on our socials, on our website, the campaign website specifically. So that's looklikeagamer.com. You can check out the people and the profiles as well. We've got some video to come. We've also got some events to come. So we've already been at the London Comic Con. So that was fun. That was a long weekend, busy weekend, a bunch of stuff we were getting up to. As always, got our own campaign events to come. So check the website, looklikeagamer.com again, for news on that. So once dates are confirmed, we'll put those up. That's the roundtable, the video games industry explained roundtable. We've got the Cupcake and Gamepad social, and then also got a game design jam. So a lot of things in the works, and scheduled to be confirmed. We've also got a bunch of things to watch on our Studio 77 platform. So this is our digital platform on Twitch and also YouTube as well. So we host different shows with creative professionals. We also play games for your amusement. So we've got different shows like the Studio 77 Report, where Tazziii and I give updates on the Myamada universe. We talk video games as well, casual conversations with comic creators, which is myself talking to a different comic creator each month, usually at the start of the month, the first Tuesday or the first Wednesday, thereabouts of each month, and games night, where we bring the community together play a different game. I think we've got Marvel Rivals on the schedule somewhere. So make sure you're following us on Twitch and YouTube as well. And if you're a young, aspiring creative professional or you know one, check out the My Matter Showrunners Work Experience Program. So we've been creating opportunities for young people aged 16 and up to work with our team across comic production, events, content creation. And yeah, we're halfway through the year. We've had a bunch of success stories and young people, showing what they can do and hopefully learning, getting an opportunity to learn to figure out how to develop themselves as they take their first steps into the industry. So yeah, if you'd like to send people our way for consideration, you can email us showrunners@mymatter.com to find out more. And yeah, you're all caught up. That's pretty much where we're at. So with that all being said, let's go behind the story with today's guest.
SARE is a UK-based electronic music artist, singer-songwriter, remixer, DJ, and self-described weeb. So listeners of the podcast and those who follow My Matter will know that creativity is very important to us. But what does creativity mean to you?
I think creativity is like a tool that I guess kind of like, when you want to like evoke a feeling or like evoke something you want to show to others as well. So I think it's like a good way to like show how you're feeling, show what you want to do, and like, put it out there into the world and see if people vibe with it. Even if people don't vibe with it, I think it's like really cool that you have that creative outlet. So that just as like a thing to be like, oh, hey, I'm doing something cool. This is cool. I think it's cool. Let's try and do something more of this. Yeah, and hopefully to inspire others who want to like, join this creative industry as well.
Oh, I love that. I love the added extra of the little bonus of inspiring others there.
Yeah.
So we came to know you through one of our team members who went to one of your shows. Can you tell us about that and what happens at a SARE concert?
So basically, when I do a SARE DJ set, I normally do like anime, video game, electronic remixes or like electronic mashups. And usually I have like a certain order that I like to play the songs, and sometimes like I plan it and like I treat it more of as like a performance instead of like, just playing one song after the other. Like the way I plan my set is like very intricate. So like the way like some of the keys or like how like the songs like blend into each other and how fast the other song is going and how I want like certain songs to like go into each other so we could get like the best reactions. Yeah, it's usually just a lot of planning, a lot of prepping, a lot of track finding as well. Like, especially like looking out for newer songs, especially with like anime ones. Like they're like coming out like every few months. So you have to like look out for like the newest one, the popular one.
Nice. That sounds very exciting, and I'm a bit upset that I have yet to go to one. So I'm going to have to correct that. Could you tell us a bit about your early life? Like, where did you grow up and what drew you to games and electronic music in particular?
So I grew up in Abbeywood in Greenwich. That's where I spent most of my life. And what drew me into like video games, anime, well, my very first video game was Sonic the Hedgehog. That was like one of the things that like drew me in, and I really love the music. I really love the colors, and it has been like one of my favorite video games since I was very young. And I guess it was one of the reasons why I wanted to become a musician as well, because a lot of people inspired me to, especially in that series, inspired me sonically and like sounds. So yeah.
I love the like connection there, the duality of it. Can you tell me a bit about your experience through school or university? Do you have any formal music education?
I would say like I'm self-taught. I learned how to play piano since I was 2 and just like self-taught myself how to play. I wasn't really the best. I wasn't really like the best student in terms of like being taught how to play piano. Like I did have a few lessons, but I eventually didn't like it and just wanted to do my own thing and learn how to play piano. And during school, I or rather, I'd say 2011, 2012. My family in South Africa, while I was staying there at the time for like school and family stuff, my cousin was part of like a rap group or like a rap slash pop R&B group in South Africa. And that really inspired me to learn how to make music. And I got like a like music making software, got back here into like moved back here to the UK, sorry, and learned how to like develop my own sound with like music. And I guess my formal my university training, I did do like a degree in music production as well.
Nice. Out of curiosity, what was the music software that you
I
self-taught?
use Fruity Loops or FL Studio. I've been using it for a long time, ever since I started making music. I'll do also like branch out into other music software in case like, the stuff that I want to do like live, or if like, other recording studios don't have like Fruity Loops, or just bring my own laptop. But yeah, like learning how to use like different music software really helps, because like, you don't know whether some stuff is available to you at the time, and it's good to have like that knowledge.
Yeah, for sure.
All about Fruit Loops, but
All
well, I know
about-
nothing about it, just the name because it reminds me of the cereal. And
Yeah.
I have had it downloaded on my PC at points because, at one point I went down the I'm going to musician route. That was not like a big route.
Yeah.
That was like a 1 week thing. All my friends were musicians, so like that's how that happened. Anyway, moving on. It's not about me. It's about you. So, how did your family then react when you decided you wanted to pursue music professionally?
So it was kind of like a mix. My mother like wanted me to do something more like, teaching or be a doctor, of course.
the classics,
The classic, yeah, like teacher, doctor, lawyer.
lawyer, engineer. That's
Yeah. Yeah, but like I just had like this kind of like drive for music, and it took like a lot of convincing and a lot of like having to show that I'm able to do this and being able to support myself as an artist. And it was a lot of convincing, and yeah, we eventually got there. So they support it, and I'm really happy with that.
Nice. What's some of the best advice that someone else gave to you when you were starting out on your journey? And was it something that you actually followed?
I would have to say, like, have fun with it. Like, don't take it too seriously, because, like, if you take it too seriously, then, like, you start to wear yourself out. And that was the advice that I followed for a certain remix that I did called "Hide and Seek" by Liz Robinette, and I took that advice on for that remix and just had fun with it. I didn't like take myself too seriously, but I wanted it to be like, kind of like serious, because it was also in like the spirit of Halloween at the time. And I did it. It just did very well. It blew up, and I wasn't expecting it to like blow up at all. And yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I love that advice. So, your name, do you want to explain where SARE comes from? Like, how did you get that?
Yeah. And not a lot of people ask this, by the way, so thank you. um So while I was coming up with like ideas for like an artist name, I was going through like a bunch of like Unicode. So the idea for Sare came from like, just like the normal S, the A with like no line through the middle, the reverse R, and then the 3E Unicode letter. So I guess that's how I came up with it. But like in Japanese, it's like sareru, which is like to become this thing. And yeah, that's how I came up with the name Sare.
Yeah, that's quite. So wait, in Japanese, it has a
Yeah.
meaning.
Yeah, it has a
Cool.
meaning.
Nice.
I like that like mixture of influence, I guess.
Yeah. I'm a nerdy kid.
I mean, that's where the self-proclaimed weeb comes in, right?
Yes.
Do you want to walk us through the typical process of creating a track, if it typically exists?
So for like an electronic track, I usually just start off with like, what are the chords, or what is like the feeling that I'm going for? especially for like an original track, because like sometimes like the chords and like the melody can like make or break a song. And it's just like also choosing like different like types of like sounds that would fit and would like meld together. And just going through like that process many times, I've learned how to do it like a lot faster, and then getting like drums, mixing that in, making a song. And yeah, usually I try to draw a lot of like inspiration from like stuff I've listened to. Like I'm like huge, like very inspired by like video game anime music, J-pop, and I was like very intrigued with J-pop from like a very young age. I would say like I discovered it at like 5 years old,
Cool.
and like I just had like this fascination with it because of like the way that they do like their chords. It was just so like cool to me. So, and it's also like a kind of like mixed bag of like knowledge, because my mom really likes music, so she has like CDs of like orchestral stuff, R&B stuff, gospel stuff, just like a lot of genres. And yeah, I just was like really fortunate to have like a lot of like musical inspiration fed into my mind to be able to kind of like reference or like kind of like use as an influence. And I guess for like my side project Lost Tree, which is my lo-fi video game and anime remix project, it's more so like focusing on like the jazz lo-fi hip-hop type sound, so more jazzy chords, more chill sounds. And I guess there's like a little bit of like electronic components into it, but for like the remixing stuff, I don't really have to, because like there's some part of me that's like want to keep elements of like the original, but like because they're licensed remixes, like we have to license them. You know, we have to create some stuff from like scratch that sounds similar to like the original. So like, you know, keeping the chords there, keeping like the melody there. And then if I want to switch it up, then I just play around with the chords on like my keyboard and see what I come up with.
That's cool. Do you, when you're like getting inspiration from like anime and gaming music, is that games that you're playing or anime that you're watching, or is it just that you kind of listen to that music even when you're not playing?
Yeah, it's games that I'm playing, anime that I'm watching, but like even when I'm not like watching the anime and the soundtrack is available, or playing like the video game and the soundtrack is available, I listen to it. And it's not like really like not really like a, if I'm like listening to it casually, it's like, you know, I'm listening to it casually because I like it. And but like a lot of like that inspiration just kind of comes from like those things. And a lot of music that I listen to as well, even if I'm just like listening to it casually, I'm like still like, you know, gathering like inspiration from it.
Cool. And then how important has self-teaching been to that process?
Self-teaching myself how to do like a lot of stuff, like developing a sound, especially as like your own like project. A lot of like sound, like especially like in the EDM space, like electronic dance music space, a lot of people have like their own like distinct sound.
Mm.
So being able to like create like a sound so that people can identify like, oh, this is SARE, and oh, this is like Lost Tree. So being able to like distinguish like the sound and make it you, it's kind of like, it's just like a lot to learn. It's a lot to learn. And then like, you know, I take my time to actually try to teach myself how to like make stuff in like a genre that like I'm interested in learning. So I recently did something like a video game remix licensed cover, and I had to properly learn how to make like a really heavy kind of like dubstep drop. Like the first drop is like Jersey Club, which I was kind of like used to. I learned like in my free time. It's like, and I guess dubstep was kind of like really difficult for me because I just never knew how to like properly do it. And
Mm.
it was just like, okay, I need to get this done. It's been 2 years. So I was just gathering ideas from like my like collaborator. And then I was just like, okay, we need to like grab as much as I can, put like as many sounds in there and make it work. And eventually I managed to pull through. And now I know how to like make the genre whenever I want to, you know, venture out into it more.
Yeah.
Do you find that because you say you're self-taught and what you describe is like a challenging or sounds like a challenging thing to learn, do you find that when you're, or at least you in particular are more motivated to learn as someone who's self-taught versus what you might have got from school? Or
Yeah, I'd say like I'm more like motivated when I'm like self-teaching myself.
because everyone's different, right? Because some people might
Yeah.
like the structure of school, but then some people might be like, okay, actually, if I care about the thing, do I want to put the effort in?
Yeah. And especially because like my field is like electronic, and especially when I'm doing like stuff for, say, for example, YouTubers, YouTubers, artists who do like cover songs of like anime and stuff. I have to learn how to get out of my comfort zone and learn how to make sounds like that are not like in my comfort zone. So, say for example, like rock. Like I don't know how to play a guitar, but like if I put my mind to it, I feel like I can like replicate it like well enough to the point where it sounds like indistinguishable.
Makes sense.
So, what do artists who aren't into video games think of your work if you talk to any?
I'm not really sure. Like, I guess like it's kind of like an interest of like, there's like some who are interested, and then there's some who are just like, oh, okay, like, he's doing more so like, this thing. And I guess there's like a lot of like, I don't know. There's like a lot of like, kind of like mixed feelings about it. And like I get it. It's like, some people who like, are more into like wanting to get into like the mainstream for like music are just like, okay, this is like, what I do and stuff like that. Yeah. But I have seen like, especially like some of my friends who are like in like the music industry for like video games, anime, and who has also done stuff for like mainstream stuff as well. I've seen them do really well, and I've seen them like, do a brilliant job with it. And yeah, really want to see if I can change like some minds for those who think like, it's like, oh, he's a nerd and stuff like that. But yeah.
Nice. So, how do you manage the business side of things being an independent artist? And what's the most challenging aspect of releasing music today?
So the business side is more so, just trying to get your song out there and like, getting people and followers to like listen to it and like getting an audience from that. And especially with like how everything is now, like especially with like TikTok for like some musicians, a lot of musicians don't really get that like coverage. Like sometimes like, they post stuff maybe like 3 times a day, and they like get like a couple of like views, and sometimes you just like post randomly and it gets like 10,000 views or something like that. And it was something that I have to get like used to, especially now. I should have started earlier, and I kind of regret like not jumping on like the TikTok train sooner. But I am learning, and especially now, because like I feel like it's important to have that kind of like following and reach, and having people who are interested in that side of things, and like who want to know more about what you do and like follow you and your journey. And for like, again, like posting and then getting people to see if like you're interested, like getting an audience from that and building an audience from that, like because I had like a video that did like really well last year. It was a remix of Chemical Plant from Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and it was getting like a lot of like views on both TikTok and Twitter. And I was like the project manager for a label at the time, but I tried to get it out like in a quick time frame, because like my colleagues was like, yo, this is doing really well, we need to get like something going for this. And then like it took a while because my boss didn't really give like the green light until like a couple of weeks later, and I was like, it's like needed to get it like really quickly, and needed to get it out there really quickly. And yeah, it just didn't do well when we released it. So now like I've learned that like take your time with it, but also like if you wanted to do really well, then like plan in advance. Because like if you do like something like that, because I did that remix on the day and it was just like a work in progress, people like want like the full thing, and it's just like, okay, cool, so I need to get this out now, and I just didn't like jump on the train fast enough.
Yeah. It's quite interesting how much, not just social media, but particularly TikTok is like influencing the popularity of music at the moment, right?
Yeah,
Is that a good thing out of interest?
I would say like sometimes it's a double-edged sword. I think for TikTok, a lot of people, and I don't mean this like in a negative way, TikTok is more for like the short attention span. People see
Oh,
like
yeah.
a
Yeah.
video, like people see like a video, like they like scroll. What
Mm.
video interests them? What video catches their eye? Like, what do they like? What do they see? And especially for like musicians, it's kind of like hard to get that, I guess, like the initial interest of the viewer. So it's like really hard to, if you're like starting out, then it's like really hard to like get yourself on there and just like, and especially now since like they've changed how the algorithm works, it's kind of like harder for people to like, do really well on it. But yeah, I think it's like a double-edged sword, but like I'm seeing like the pros and the cons of it and like taking account of it.
Yeah. When did you start doing live performances?
I started doing live performances in 2018. So I was I'm still part of a label. I joined a net label called Tiny Waves in 2017. And a couple of like my inspirations who are really good friends now, some of them like were going to London for this event called Gamer Disco. And I saw one of my friends perform, and it was a really good time, and I was just like, oh, this is so cool, I really want to start doing performances like this. And then I talked to the organizer, and like, yeah, like we can plan something for this. And I managed to like do my first performance, and then started to do more as time went on.
So selling albums used to be the main thing for artists. Is doing the live shows now the main thing?
Yeah, like it's either like live shows or doing like the albums. I think I did the live show in conjunction to my EP that was released at the time called the Tree EP, which is like a video game anime inspired concept album, quote unquote. But yeah, at the time it was like very video game anime inspired, and since this was like a video game music event, I wanted to like play and do something from like that project. And yeah, I think it went really well for my first performance as well, so yeah.
Nice. How do you prepare for a live show? Do you have like a routine or a ritual?
I usually just like plan, like when I can plan, like sorting out the track list and getting everything, or just kind of like listening to how I would do like certain like transitions, or like certain, or like going into the next song, certain effects and stuff like that. But like when going into a show, I am zoned in. I am locked in. I do try to have like conversations with people, but like sometimes like I feel like nowadays I feel like very locked in, and I say like I do not want to be disturbed, but I have like that kind of like mindset where it's just like, like please come and talk to me like if you want to, but like I'm also like very like I want to like also like focus on this so it doesn't mess up, because it's kind of like that like perfectionism thing, wanting everything to like go perfectly, go swimmingly. And but I also feel like it's okay to mess up even in like a live performance thing, because at least that's like at least that shows that you're doing it live, and that's more flavor to like the performance, I guess.
Nice. Do you prefer making music or performing it?
Both. But like making music, definitely more, because if I'm doing like an original and I have an idea of like an original, and if it goes really well, then I'm the happiest human being. And if I get like a chance to perform it, then even better. So it's kind of like best of both worlds.
And it looks like you have a lot of collaborations. How do you approach like working with someone versus working alone on your own thing?
I guess it's like finding out if we have like similar sounds or similar like interests in like terms of like sounds and like inspirations and stuff like that. Especially like, in the video game and anime community, like people, I just tend to like work with people like that because like for musicians in these scenes, we are kind of like-minded, sometimes like very similar minded. Like if we like what we're doing with like the song, then it just bounces off each other really well. And I mostly prefer that over working alone because you're just alone with your thoughts and it can sometimes just be like, okay, like, yeah, it can be too much.
Yeah. Does the reality of what you do match your dream of it?
I would say like not yet. Like I'm still building towards it. And, I'm not like in like social reach, I'm not like a huge like performer or anything like that. But some stuff has done really well and I'm really grateful for like the opportunities that I get and like the performances that I get to do. And if people really enjoy my stuff, then, I'm, super grateful that people have given me like opportunities and that is like the dream as well. And also, I would say that like, I want to do like more stuff officially in terms of like when I say like, is this what like I want to do for like a dream? Doing stuff for like official projects as well. That's what I'd like to do as like my dream kind of thing because there's like a lot of projects out there or a lot of like games and anime that is stuff that I would love to work on given the chance. And yeah, that's I'm looking forward to when that day comes, but yeah.
Do you think there's any big misconceptions about being a music artist?
Yeah, I think there is, especially not as like a music artist per se, but as somebody who is like, doing like music as a DJ. People are just like, oh, you're just playing like a track, like, you're just playing like a bunch of tracks, like you're not really doing anything interesting with it.
Oh, like just press and play, and then
Yeah, you're just
yeah.
pressing play and like, letting the music play out.
To be fair,
And
I've seen some DJs do that though.
yeah,
Just Spotify playlist and
I treat like my performances like more like a performance because like that's how I want it to like go. Because I recently just started doing the Europe tour with We Touch Grass this year, and I treat it like more as like a performance in terms of like everything that I have on the set list is like how it's supposed to be. And the way that I want to transition from one song to the next, or the way that I want to go out from like one song to the next and do all of that technical stuff, it's like very intricate. And I get what people mean when like saying like, oh, you're playing like, one song at a time, but like there's a lot that goes into it, especially when you're doing like the performance like aspect of it. It's like, there's like a lot of preparation that goes into it. And I think the sad thing is that people don't really get it and don't understand it. And yeah, unless like, somebody is willing to like show them how it works and stuff like that. Because here's the thing, when you have like the kind of like equipment in front of you, like say for example, like the CDJs that most industry professionals use, like DJs, you can not just like, have like a USB and just put it in with like some music. There is a lot of like technical aspects that go into it because you need to have like the right software, you need to have like the right files for it, and otherwise nothing will work. And again, you're just playing the songs just without anything.
Cool. What would you say is your biggest achievement so far?
Oh, it is a mix of things. So the hide and seek remix that I did for Liz Robinette, that is my most streamed, most viewed remix. It was just like one time during university. I was asked by Liz's husband Lowlander, and he also manages Liz Robinette. They were just like, hey, can you do like a kind of like spooky remix of like our song? And I was like, yeah, sure, let me see what I can do with it. And I did it in like a night. I sent it to them, and then I think it was like the week of, because it was Halloween, and then it just blew up. Like I think 1 million within like the first 24 hours. It was like absolutely insane. The second one was getting to do an official remix for Netflix Ultraman. Not to be confused with Ultraman Rising, just to make that clear. Yeah, so I was given the chance to do a remix of the ending theme for the final season called Aviation by Void Chords. And that was an interesting project to do because like it was official and like I didn't want it to be boring. I wanted to like see what I could like take from the original and also see what I can do, like adding in my own elements. And they wanted like a kind of like house, electro house kind of sound for it. And the person that got me on said that it was perfect for like getting me on for that remix because they knew that was the sound that they wanted. And finally, the Miku Expo remix placement. So last year, I joined a remix contest January, February for Miku Expo because they do like these contests online. They do an original song contest first and then a remix contest. And I did the remix and I was lucky enough to be selected among talented producers and some friends that I've made. And I got to be added on the Miku Expo 10th anniversary CD. And well, it was like a download card, but it comes with the CD. And I guess being part of that, like that special occasion, like really made me happy.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
So I want to go in to a bit about the industry and future plans. Do you have to balance choosing game inspiration you like versus what is popular?
Yeah, there's like a lot of like balancing, especially for like the especially for like the gaming stuff. Sometimes I play like what I like. Sometimes and then after that what people are talking about, like I check it out, see if it like interests me, and then I also see if I like it or if I like, want to play it. And I don't really get like a lot of time to play video games. I'm gonna be real, but like because like I'm like so focused on work. But yeah, the times that I get to do like, it's just like playing, like seeing what's new, seeing what's out there. If it's like a game that interests me and a game that's like popular, especially if it's like both of those on like the same side, then I get it and like try it out. And then like if I'm really invested, then I just go all in. But yeah, I'd say like more of my focus right now is on like music, but I do get
Yeah,
like the chance to like play games when I get the chance.
nice. And you've mentioned like having fun and trusting the process in your work. What does that mean when things get difficult?
So when things get difficult, it's just like you're wearing yourself out. Like I feel, especially this year, I had to learn that the hard way. Like I did have like a lot of fun with like some stuff, some projects that I worked on this year. But then last month I hit like a burnout, I guess like a physical and creative burnout because I was like going to conventions, I was playing shows, and I was also like working on music like nonstop. And yeah, like it just means that you need to take time to like rest and also like listen to your body when your body's telling you, look dude, you worked yourself too hard, like let's just take a rest, see what we can do. And then yeah, but also yeah, it's just like the creative like burnout stuff that is like really difficult.
Yeah. How have you seen technology change music production? Is that for good or for bad?
It's a bit of both. Like and there's like I'd say like, it's like a double-edged sword again, because some people say like, oh, technology can be like, used to like, do some stuff like, you can have stuff on time and like, make sure that everything is properly in place so it doesn't sound like out of time. Especially for like, songs that you would hear the final version on Spotify or like on any music platform, as compared to like live, like you're working with like human beings. And like, I guess there's like that humanistic side to it as well. So if they want to like add stuff that is not necessarily in the original, they can do that. And I think that's like, this is kind of like the like good and bad side. But I think it's like kind of cool like seeing the good and the bad and like the like, technological side of it. So
Okay, cool. So, what does the rest of the year look like for you project wise?
Project-wise, working on the next installment for Lost Tree for the video game lo-fi projects that I've been doing. So this is Sonic, Kingdom Hearts, Sonic Frontiers, and this most recent one is going to be the fourth album. So recently I've been putting out the Persona series. I started with Persona 5, and now we are set to release Persona 3 this month. I released Persona 4 in April. So they're just like 4-track EPs, and they are like, lo-fi rearrangements of the Persona music and pretty much tracks that I enjoy from like the Persona song series and how I would like to interpret it in like a lo-fi setting. And as for other projects this year, next week, or rather, I believe end of the month actually, end of June, there is a Final Fantasy remix that I'm done on Farago Records with my good friend The Diamond Planet. I did a remix of the Victory Fanfare theme from Final Fantasy VII, and that will be my third Final Fantasy remix of SARE. So I kind of done the like trifecta of like popular Final Fantasy themes. A lot of work with like VTubers, a lot of video game work that I cannot really talk about. Unfortunately, NDAs. And other than that, doing shows. This Friday, I'm playing in Germany, Dresden, for We Touch Grass, doing the City Pop Festival official after party. No other shows confirmed yet, but on the 1st of November, I'm going to be at SonicCon UK. This time it's going to be in London, and I'll be performing at the after party for that. I'm going to be doing an extended mix of what I did for Absolution, which was like the Sonic performance concert that we did in March. And yeah, I think that's all I've got right now.
So a lot of up and coming things and some stay tuned to find out.
Yeah.
We love to hear it. So we're all protagonists in our own stories, and every good protagonist has a goal and a vision of success. What does success look like to you, and are you there yet?
I feel like being really happy, being really content, and, feeling like you've reached this point and just being like, really content with this, but still like being able to like strive for more. I feel like that's like the best success that you can like go for. Like, being like the best that you can be, striving for more success, but also like, taking the time to look after yourself and just being like really happy with like what you're doing and your passion for it as well. So yeah, I think that's the best I've got. And that's the most apt description I can give for that.
No, it's great. Thank you for sharing with us. In each interview, we ask our guests to give advice for aspiring creative professionals, and we've been talking music. So what advice do you have to others listening who may want to get started with creating their own sound and putting them out into the world?
I would say do like a lot of experimentation and a lot of like, trial and error. People just want to get there like really quickly. Take your time with it. It took me a while for me to like find like my own like soundscape and like the sounds that I use for SARE and Lost Tree. And I think just like finding the right sound for you, it will take time. It will take a lot of effort, but just take that time and use as much of it to learn more. And like, trial and error as well is important because you kind of like learn from that. And if you don't like it, then like you can try again. Like always keep trying to like get like that result that you want for your sound.
I think that is some excellent advice just for creativity in general.
Yeah.
Sounds like some solid advice. I'm going to remember that one because I feel like I've lost a bit of that.
This is the part of the interview where we like to throw in follow-up questions or random things that didn't quite fit anywhere else in the interview. And I'm also just realizing why Gina bought this, because you are a Sonic fan and she is a big Sonic fan. And I forgot that. So yeah, just reconnecting. Also, this is random, nothing to do with anything about you, but I just realized Sonic, like literally the word Sonic as in sound. I don't know why. Yeah,
I've
literally
never thought
just
of.
right now
Have I
as you were
thought of that
talking.
before?
I don't think I've ever thought of that.
I think I have. I think I've thought because he's because of how fast he runs. It's
Yeah.
like
Oh no, oh maybe I have actually. Yeah, yeah, of course. That's the connection. I must have known that. I feel like I
you
did
must
know
have
that
thought about it, but
and
I
just
feel like it
forgot.
brings different context because of
Yeah,
this
yeah.
podcast
Okay.
episode.
Oh, now you said that, I probably have. I was aware of that, but for whenever I was, it was a long time ago, and I must have forgot because that felt like a new discovery
Mm.
to me. I was about to go and update the Wikipedia page
A
on that.
rediscovery.
Yeah, yeah. Did you know? Like to break
The lost
news to no
records.
one. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So so back to you. Interested to know, what music do you listen to? Is it all electronic house music, dubstep, or
It's not like all electronic. I like to like listen to like a lot of different genres,
mm,
especially like some that I feel like I can like learn from. I listen to like a lot of like anime soundtracks as well, and like video game soundtracks, and just like even like outside of like the nerdy kind of soundtrack area, do like listen to a lot of songs like from pop songs, like rock songs, and like metal, or just like anything from like around the world that really interests me. And if I'm able to like use that like contextually in like a sound or like in a song, or just kind of like fuel like the inspiration brain, then yeah. But like I
mm.
guess just like listening to like a wide range of like genres. And honestly, I have to thank my mom for that, because she is like a very musical person, and I guess like my family has been like very musical as well, because we're South African. And whenever we have like family friends like come together for like an event or a party or a celebration, they have like this moment where it's just like a cappella, like everyone's voices are in like unison, and it's just like the most amazing thing, and everyone's like in harmony, and it's just perfect.
Nice. That's really cool. So I recently, as we recall, recently went to a performance of London Symphony Orchestra. So now I feel like I'm cultured and all that. But as we were playing doing the pieces and describing the work, they described the music as almost like they described the music as like characters in a story. It's quite fascinating to hear that. I don't have the musical vocabulary to say exactly what they said, but they were describing it as like characters and different parts of the story and the instruments responding. Do you look at your music like that, or is that just a classical music thing? Do you see your music? Do you visualize it like that as a story? Or
I For my music, yeah, I really
mm,
would like to like, delve more into like these for like my original songs with like more of a like structure. I would like to like delve into like more of like a storytelling aspect. I think what I did for like more of like my EDM songs,
mm,
they don't really have like a huge meaning, but like for when I'm doing like stuff for like soundtracks, I guess like I'm writing more to, I guess, like the world like around like the character, and trying to like make it fit contextually and story wise. So yeah, I feel like that's very like really important, especially like when you're trying to like immerse people into that world. And yeah, I'm still like learning about it as
yeah.
like time goes on, and I do really want to like work on more official stuff.
Yeah, it was interesting because it did change the way I think it changed the way I engage it, because the conductor was like, and this piece, it starts off tragic, but then it rises. I was like, oh, okay, I see that. I hear that. I'm like following it in a different way. It's quite fascinating to see. So,
Yeah,
um,
it like really plays on like the emotion, like it immerses you
mm,
as well. So
there you go. I'm cultured now, so that's the thing. And you're talking about like instruments and how you could potentially like play a different instrument. I think you're talking about like guitar and
yeah.
that. I just got me thinking: is there like a assumption that if you're any kind of musician, you can play any kind of instrument? Because I know like Prince was famous for being able to play, played all his instruments, and I gather that was uncommon. So like, do you play a wide range of instruments, or how do you see that in terms of being able to play different instruments? Is that something you can do? Is that something other artists can do?
I think it's like more so like what other artists can do. I can only play like piano and drums. I wanted to learn how to play guitar. Like I only know like a little bit, but not a lot. So I wish I was like experienced in that kind of like just like learning how to play like a guitar. But just never really got like the time to. But I don't think like And especially if you're like, like a music producer or composer, you don't really, I guess for some things, like you don't really need to have like that like musical background. There are a lot of like producers out there who don't really like know like music theory. Most producers don't know like music theory, and they just like, put in like what they feel. So I guess like you don't really need to like have like an instrument or like know how to play like multiple instruments. If you're like cool with what you have, like like piano and drums, then you're good. And then like if you want to learn more, then like do it as well. If you have like the opportunity to learn a different instrument, then that's a good thing, because like you can learn a lot, and you can like gain new skills from it as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so yeah, last question. Where can people find you online and see or hear more of your work, or see you at a show as well?
All of my socials are at official SARE, so official SARE. My YouTube, official SARE. Spotify is SARE in all caps, SARE. Yeah, and next shows to be confirmed, but like the confirmed one right now is for Dresden, Germany, this Friday, the 20th of June, and for SonicCon London, November 1st. I'm looking forward to playing the after party and playing some Sonic tunes as well.
Mm.
And yeah, I think that's everything.
Yeah, no, sounds good. I imagine Gina might be there because they're very, very big Sonic fans. But yeah, no, good luck in Germany as well. And yeah, thank you for taking time to share your story with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
No problem. And yeah, listeners, thank you for listening to the story. So if you enjoyed this episode of Story X Story, definitely make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss a future episode. You can also give us a 5-star rating and review. That helps us reach new listeners and fans of story discussions. You can also share links directly. That works as well. We're story creators, so you can discover our manga universe online, including our latest manga release, Origins Against All Odds. Some activities around that to come. Watch the space. You can join our Studio 77 Discord as well to connect with us in between episodes, get a heads up on upcoming My Matter projects and events, and take part in the Do I Look Like a Gamer video game representation campaign, which is our yearly initiative for diversity and inclusion. Yes, that is still a thing somewhere in the video games industry and wider culture. So we've got a bunch of plans in store for the rest of the year, but you can check out the photos of this year's campaign 40, check out the profiles as well, and then catch us at a future event. So you can head to looklikeagamer.com to find out more about that. As for the podcast, we release new episodes each week on Thursdays or Thursday adjacent, depending on the timing. They include creator interviews, video game discussions, and deep dives into stories across pop culture. You can always give us a shout directly. Our email address is studio77@mymatter.com, and our website with links to subscribe is mymatter.com/storyxstory. So thank you for tuning in, and until next time, stay safe, and remember, we'll be sending this episode to be remixed by SARE for him to blow us up as well. So look out for that. Take care, everyone.